Hi, I'm Jessica Medlin from the Arizona Geographic Alliance, and this is a first and third grade lesson lasting about 2 class periods titled Lead On Courageous Civil Rights Leaders. In this lesson, we learn how the individual leadership has greatly affected and shaped the laws of the United States. While many people may see the need for change, some people step forward as courageous leaders and have gained public support in ending discriminatory laws and practices. In this lesson, students will understand the role Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., and Cesar Chavez each had as courageous leaders in the civil rights movement. They will look at key events in each leader's life that helped change laws and policies in the U.S. So the materials needed in this lesson include a 3 Leaders with Courage reading, Courageous Leaders Organizer for 3rd grade, for 1st grade, a What Happened writing assignment, and for 3rd grade, a leadership writing assignment. You will need a United States with state capitals map, a large U.S. wall map or transparency, and you need to identify Montgomery, Alabama, Washington, D.C., Yuma, Arizona, and Delano, California. You'll need colored pencils and also 3 pictured books. One is Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and Cesar Chavez. The objectives for this lesson, the students will be able to describe the leadership roles that Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., and Cesar Chavez had in supporting the rights and freedoms of others. They'll also describe events illustrated in the picture books. They're going to identify those 4 cities on a map. They're also going to illustrate events on the map. They'll read informational text and summarize key information into a graphic organizer. And they'll also write a narrative explaining events from Rosa and Martin Luther King Jr. And they'll also write an opinion paper on what it means to be a leader for 3rd grade. For the first day, you'll ask the students first if they've ever been separated into groups. For example, tall and short, boys and girls, or by weight. One that I think they can relate to is at an amusement park. If you're too short, you can't ride. And if you're too tall, sometimes you can't ride the littler rides. And ask the students if they've ever been bothered by this. And explain at one time in our country, we were divided by the color of our skin. And at this time, you can give background information on the civil rights movement in the United States. You can explain how Black people had to be segregated or separate from white people in restaurants, schools, and buses. And our country has had great leaders that have helped bring about change. So you'll get to the 3 Leaders with Courage worksheet. You'll have the students follow along as you read aloud. And you'll start with Rosa Parks. After you read the paragraph on Rosa Parks, you will show a picture book of Rosa Parks. And you can summarize some of the events in a few of the pictures. And using the pictures, you'll ask the students to tell you what you think is happening. For example, this picture shows where Rosa is being arrested for the bus incident. And this picture shows how Martin Luther King Jr. Was a leader at this time, boycotting the bus system. Then you'll continue and read the paragraph on Martin Luther King Jr., and then you'll show this picture book. And just showing a few pictures, ask the students to tell you what is happening. For example, there's the bus incident, and then Martin Luther King Jr. led the boycott of the bus system. And finally, you'll read the Cesar Chavez paragraph and show a picture book for Cesar Chavez. This one, you'll want to make note on how the farm workers had a very hard life, and the conditions were very rough. And then this is showing leadership in a boycott over grapes. For grade 3, you'll then have them do a Courageous Leaders Organizer worksheet. You'll ask the students to choose one of the leaders, put that leader's name in the first bubble, and then they'll draw a picture of the leader in the bottom bubble, and in the middle they write their favorite thing about that person. And you'll ask the students to then share. For 1st grade, you'll need to have the students act out different scenes from the 3 leaders. On the second session, you'll need to have the cities written somewhere on the board: Montgomery, Alabama, Yuma, Arizona, Delano, California, and Washington, D.C. You'll review the 3 leaders and how they supported the rights and freedoms of others, and you'll ask the students to once again act out the leaders' stories to review. You can also have 3rd grade do that acting out as well, just as a review. Then you'll have the students look at the United States with state capitals map. You'll project or show a large version of the map, and then you'll have the students identify on the map the title, the scale, the compass rose, and you'll then have them identify the 4 cities listed on the whiteboard. You'll have the students put a dot on those 4 places, and they'll be doing a key at the bottom. So here's an example of what the student maps should look like. And then while looking at this map, you'll ask the students, were all of the dots in the same part of the United States? And since they happen in different parts of the country, does this mean that there were problems in all parts of the country with people treated fairly? And do you think the United States has the same problem today? Then after you discuss that, you'll have the students draw a picture at each of the sites to represent an event. For example, I drew a bus in Montgomery, and in California, I drew the grapes for Cesar Chavez. For the writing assignment in 1st grade, you're going to ask them to look at the what happened worksheet, and you'll go over the instructions and discuss. They are doing a first, then, and so writing assignment. And for 3rd grade, they're doing a leadership writing assignment, and you need to go over the instructions and discuss the leadership qualities with the students, and also make sure they refer to one of the leaders within the writing assignment. For the assessment on this, the students need to correctly identify all 4 locations with a symbol and make a key or legend with a score of 100% on their maps for a geography grade. They need to score a 4 or higher on the 6th trait writing rubric for ideas and organization. And for grade 3, they need to correctly score 80% or higher on identifying key ideas from the readings on the organizer. And for grade 1, they need to act out actions for the leaders as their assessment for reading comprehension. For an extension, the students can use the information collected on the organizer worksheet to create a storyboard or PowerPoint. With adult help, they can also research images to show the 50s or 60s. You can also go to googleearth.com to zoom into your hometown and then look at the other cities that we've identified. And this concludes this lesson.